Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hopefully everyone's doing well, had a good weekend. Mother's Day was hopefully beautiful for everyone out there. But the weekend was great for boxing, wasn't it? Now, the dirty truth about Dubois and Wardley is that Dubois did use some tactics to get himself back in the fight. And that's created a lot of issues for fans and even Fabio Wardley's team. They're very disappointed in how things went. Now, I created this thumbnail here because it kind of sums it up, right? You can see in this thumbnail, they got the fans there. People are getting splattered with blood. You got the referee in the bottom left corner. If I stop it, they will kill me. Top right corner, Dubois and Wardley. You can see the elbow striking Wardley. Right below that, you can see the headbutt striking Wardley, causing his mouthpiece to come out. And you can see the woman in the crowd representing Fabio Wardley's family member. Stop the fight! Then you got that cool guy in the middle there. What about the headbutts and elbows? Well, what about it? Because Fabio Wardley's team, they were disappointed with the officiating and the WBO World Heavyweight title loss. Look, Wardley sustained, facial damage. Now, the fight was brutal. It was ended in the 11th round. Daniel Dubois got the victory. Wardley's team believed that the referee, I found out his name is Howard Foster. He should have taken stronger action, I agree. If we're sitting here watching the fight, and we're saying to ourselves, the damn referee isn't doing his job. There's elbows being thrown. There's headbutts being thrown. He tackled Fabio Wardley, why didn't the referee say anything? Anyway, Wardley has a rematch clause, but I don't know how that's going to go. But the team said they're disappointed with the officiating. I'm going to say this. Okay, although Dubois was floored twice, makes you wonder how he's able to get back in the fight. Well, you can just see that once Dubois realized he had to make adjustments and become more physical, that's where Wardley's face just started to become disfigured. He went from looking like a handsome guy who could probably do some modeling to looking like a damn garbage pail kid. Dubois, with that big potato head of his, just started slamming that shit all up in the mouth, in the eyeball, in the damn forehead, in the neck, in the chest of Fabio Wardley. Wherever he could land that big potato head of his, he was landing it. And that facial damage, as every round you could see his face becoming worse and worse and worse. Now, don't get me wrong. Dubois was landing the jab, hook, uppercut, right hands. He was landing everything almost at will because Wardley just didn't have the defense. And that's because Wardley he was getting hurt so bad by the elbows and the forearm in the neck and the headbutts that you could tell he couldn't even focus anymore, But his team is pissed off because they feel like the referee, Howard Foster, could have taken stronger actions against Dubois for the illegal blows. Now, I'm going to tell you, I didn't see the referee take any action against Dubois for anything. The damage was extensive, and it was quite visible to see what was happening round after round. But it's at a point to where I think they should make a big deal about it, because Dubois, when he hooked up with Don Charles, Dubois became a dirty fighter. He wasn't headbutting and doing all that stuff before and throwing the elbows before. It really showed up when he fought, Hrgovic. That's why I was watching and thinking to myself, what the hell is Dubois doing? He really fought that fight, to me, like a pig. But if I get it, you're going to find a way to win or find a way to lose. I just, I don't agree with all that. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I think the British Boxing Board of Control, even if they don't receive any complaints, I think they should look into it. I know they have hot wash meetings where they discuss the fight and how everything went, the ref, and they have a big hot wash. And I think that's something they should talk about, because Dubois, whatever he does next, whether it's going to be against Deontay Wilder or Moses Atama or Ajit Cabiel, I don't know. But they should have a conversation, because Dubois can't continue with this pattern of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Now, the idea of Wardley having a rematch with Dubois, I mean, his pride probably says, look, I suffered my first professional defeat. I want to rematch Dubois. But if you're going to do it, at least put the spotlight on Dubois and the foul play that takes place inside that ring. Because I just don't think it's going to be... Dubois is not going to change what he's doing unless you make him worry about something. And if no formal complaints are being filed, well, I mean, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Get a good rest. Think about what you want to do next. And then, possibly come on back to the ring for Wardley, but against Dubois, I don't know if I would recommend that. I'm just trying to understand enforcing the rematch. And even if they enforced it, it doesn't mean it's going to happen anytime soon, because Wardley's going to need time to heal. Also, Wardley, to me, should be thinking about what he's going to do next as far as a trainer, because his trainer, he's on record now, Ben Davison, saying, you know what, the Dubois fight could have been stopped earlier. But he tried to explain why he didn't, throw the towel in, talking about it's such a difficult job to not only find a balance, but to strike at the right time, to stop a fight like that on a whim when your guy is responsive and firing back. I mean, what the F is he talking about? Wardley did have a couple of moments where he was caught up in the storm, where he was in full survival mode and would just, on occasion, let one shot go. But he took 30 or 40 hard shots plus 5 or 6 headbutts and elbows. You're going to look at your guy getting, mauled in the ring and then say we should let it continue because out of a 3-minute stretch, he lands like 2 or 3 shots. He wasn't landing enough to discourage Daniel Dubois. So when it comes to Ben Davison, I don't know about that guy. Because I'm just trying to listen to him explain his decision to not throw in the towel when his fighter just got punished in there. I mean, we're talking about a brutal all-British class. And don't get me wrong, Wardley landed some good shots. The first couple of rounds were very good for him. And even throughout the fight, he landed a couple of hard shots. But that fight should have been stopped probably around the 7th, 8th round, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I don't understand this guy, Ben Davison. Of course, everyone's proud of Fabio. But when he says, I agreed, it could have been stopped earlier. Well, then why didn't you stop it? You're talking about he didn't see Fabio stumble. We all saw that. On my live, I was talking about that. I mean, he couldn't walk. He was stumbling all over the ring. Then after the bell ring, he came back in the ring and was still stumbling. His legs were gone. His equilibrium was gone. The doctor had to see it. That's why I say the doctor, like, if I stop this shit, they'll kill me. Makes you wonder why the doctor didn't stop it. Why the referee didn't stop it. Why the doctor didn't stop it. Why the team didn't stop it. You're sitting there with a towel in your hand, and you know you should stop it, but you're watching the doctor like, okay, the doctor's letting it go. We should let it go. The doctor doesn't know your fighter the way you do. And we understand it's a difficult job. We get it. But don't come out here trying to find a balance and when the right time to stop the fight. How about the right time to stop the fight is when Fabio Wardley was getting hit and turning his back to Dubois. That was a pretty good damn time to stop the fight. He only did it about 2,000 times in the goddamn fight. He was getting hit with such hard shots that he was turning his back to Dubois. He was getting hit so hard with the jab, he was folded in half. So Ben Davison, to me, dropped the ball. That's my opinion. He let Wardley take way too much damage. Way too much damage. Even a couple of times when Wardley was firing back, he wasn't really killing the momentum of Dubois. And he wasn't, as by round 6, 7, he just wasn't looking all that responsive and firing back the way I felt he needed in order to continue. So, there may be mixed opinions on this, but I'm just telling you, for me, that shit should have been stopped. And I don't think Wardley's going to be the same. I'm just being honest with you. We know where he comes from. 4 white-collar fights, the heavyweight champion of the world. Probably nobody else would do it. And Wardley is fighting against the best, you know what I mean? Like, you got to put a lot of respect on Wardley's name. Wardley is basically like a tough man who just got into boxing, and look what he's been able to accomplish. He's basically a Ricardo Mayorga. You know what I'm saying? A heavyweight Ricardo Mayorga. Tough, very limited skills, but there's something special about those hands. So, not often does a guy like him come along. But I'm going to tell you, as far as what's next for him, I don't know. Fabio Wardley, I don't know what's next for him. I'll tell you this, I don't want to see him get hurt. He reminds me of Joe Joyce. Takes a lot of shots. He's cool with that. He's going to come again, but I wonder what his punch resistance is going to be like now. Because the way he got beat on, it reminded me of Joe Joyce just getting in those fights early in his career, just getting beat on and beat on and beat on, even though he was coming back winning. At a certain point in time, it caught up with him. Now Joe Joyce's chin is just not what it used to be, but he just had it dented time and time and time again. You know what I'm saying? So, it was an epic world title fight. Put a lot of respect on Wardley's name. Daniel Dubois gets all the credit in the world. He got the win. Did what he had to do. Those headbutts and elbows, man. I mean, it was vicious. And we just saw David Benavidez, throw some wicked elbows against Zurdo. But Benavidez wasn't fighting dirty in that fight. It's just that final, I think, stretch where he let those hands go. It's pretty nasty. But Benavidez has never been a dirty fighter, in my opinion. But the elbows, it did make a difference. And then to see Daniel Dubois come out here, which he has a pattern developing of getting nasty if he has to win the fight. And those elbows and headbutts. So we'll see what the future holds. But as far as Fabio Wardley or Daniel Dubois facing Deontay Wilder next, I'll be honest with you. To me, that's the fight to make. Caballel is trying to wait for Usyk. Fury and AJ doing their thing. Big Baby Miller, of course, he doesn't want to fight no damn Dubois. Watch them try to make Dubois against Deontay Wilder. Who y'all got in that fight? Anyway, man, all the best to these guys involved. One of the best fights I've ever seen. I mean, I've never seen that shit. Was crazy to watch them fight like that. But Wardley's team. If you saw the stuff happening during the fight, make noise. You gotta make noise, and to me, they didn't make enough noise. So, don't start now. But definitely there should be some kind of process to file a grievance or do it officially. Go out there and file a complaint. But it just pisses me off that during the fight they weren't raising hell. Like, we're watching the fight on my live, and I'm like, Dubois is fighting like a pig. Where's the uproar from Fabio Wardley's corner during the fight where the man was just, getting wrestled and choked and guillotined and all kind of crazy shit was happening in that ring. Anyway, hopefully Fabio Wardley can return. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he's going to return and be back in top form like he was going into the Dubois fight. I just don't think so. I think he's become another Joe Joyce. But time will tell. But he took a hellacious beating. So I don't know what's next for Wardley. But for Dubois, they need to make Dubois against Wilder. That would be a good fight. Of course, I got Dubois winning. But they need to make that fight. That would be an interesting fight. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool. Let me know what you think about them headbutts and elbows. Let me know what you think about Wardley's team now coming out, kind of complaining about the referee when they really didn't say shit during the fight. Y'all, I'm in the breeze.